Hello, 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 and welcome to this video. If you clicked on this video, you might be interested in One Direction. The reason why I want to talk about One Direction today is because I don't know if you know this. If you are watching and you're a One Direction fan, you probably do know this, but this year they celebrate their 10th anniversary. The fact that this band formed 10 years ago has made me realize just how fast time has flown. But I thought it would be really fun to rank their albums. There are 5 One Direction albums, and I will start with number 5 being the lowest on the list and then work my way up to number 1. As is with any sort of music review I do, obviously music is a very personal thing to everyone, and this is more so to encourage a discussion in the comments. I would love to know if you agree with my rankings or how you would rate the albums in your opinion, or what your favorite songs are. So let's have a discussion in the comments below about One Direction, and without further ado, Number 5. Number 5 on my list of One Direction albums is going to be their very first one, Up All Night. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. The reason why I put Up All Night as number 5 is because it's their first album post X Factor, and it is incredibly poppy, but like trendy poppy, and you could tell it's a bunch of guys that maybe they co-wrote a few songs, but they're just trying to figure out their sound. There are a few songs on there that have a soft spot in my heart. A few standout tracks from Up All Night for me personally would be One Thing. I definitely prefer One Thing over What Makes You Beautiful. Okay, well, it's not definite, but in regards to like a good pop radio song, I really prefer One Thing, I think. And then I Wish and Tell Me a Lie are some of my favorite songs from that album. But once again, is it bad? No. But it's their first album. You don't get a ton of Niall and Louis in there, and it's definitely just the starting point for them as a group, I would say. Number 4, I think might cause some controversy. I don't know if everyone's going to agree with me, but I put Midnight Memories at number 4. Before you gasp in awe and, get mad at me, hear me out. And you don't have to agree with me. That's the whole point. But hear me out. The reason why I put Midnight Memories at number 4 is because obviously I do think it is a great album, but some of the songs on there I consistently skip. I mean, consistently. And a few of them sound very, very similar. That doesn't mean it's bad, but Alive, Little Black Dress, Midnight Memories, all of those songs are pretty similar, and because of that, I put it at number 4. Now, a few standout songs from Midnight Memories that I love would be Best Song Ever, even though, once again, Best Song Ever technically is part of Midnight Memories, but it's the oddball on there. I think it got tagged on there because it came out when their documentary came out, but I do really like Best Song Ever. Diana, I love Diana. Now, the sad thing about Diana is that once Zayn left the group, they couldn't really keep performing that song because you kind of needed his range for the whole chorus. And then Little White Lies, I think, is really great. And finally, I think my favorite song from Midnight Memories is Happily. It is just so happy, which, wow, what an analysis. It's called Happily, and I think it's a very happy song, so good job me. Number 3 is, on my personal list, is Take Me Home. Take Me Home is pop perfection. It's what Up All Night wanted to be, in my opinion. And that is why I have put that as number 3 above Midnight Memories, because it is that true good pop kind of an album. And what I mean by true pop, like I said in Up All Night, some of it was kind of, I don't want to say cheesy, but a little bit cheesy. And Take Me Home is just a genuine pop album, and they have so many good, I mean, the slow songs are really sweet. A lot of people love Little Things, but their fast songs are just so infectious and so well done. Some of the songs that I want to highlight from Take Me Home would be Kiss You, Come On, She's Not Afraid is so fun. And then I think my absolute favorite song from Take Me Home might be I Would. Once again, it's a Zayn-driven chorus, but it is such a good song. I would love to see One Direction perform that live. I never had the chance, but I think it is just such a fun song. To this day, I still like to listen to that one a lot. And then the ballad from Take Me Home that I loved when it came out was Summer Love. Just think it's really pretty. Really liked it. Number 2 on the list, wait. Tornado Siren. No, there isn't a storm. They do that every week. It's not a storm, I promise. We done? Number 2 on the list is 4. 4 is the 4th album by One Direction. But 4, I think, is when the group really starts to figure out their sound and when their sound really matures. Take Me Home was very pop and Midnight Memories went very rock, which is completely fine. And the reason why I prefer 4 though is because 4 feels like they're really starting to figure out the sound of One Direction. There's more balance to it. You have some of the rock influence and it's still kind of pop rock, but it just feels more balanced and not like they're trying to be someone else. That may be more of like a traditional pop album could be accused of, or Midnight Memories being such a stark contrast. So 4, I feel like they're really starting to find their stride, and you have good anthem songs. I like to say like arena songs that you could tell they were made to sound great on a huge arena tour. For example, Where Do Broken Hearts Go is for sure an arena song, but then they have really nice tender songs too on there, and their lyrics started to mature a lot too. I mean, the lyrics started maturing in Midnight Memories, but in 4, once again, I felt like it didn't feel like they were trying to sound older. It sounded like it was just a bit more natural for them at that point. A few standout songs from 4, already mentioned one, which would be Where Do Broken Hearts Go? Ready to Run. I loved Ready to Run, and that was a really great song that even after Zayn left and they performed it live, it still sounded amazing. Girl Almighty is so fun. No Control, of course. One of the very few songs where Louis gets a whole chorus, and I know the whole fan base was very excited about that. Stockholm Syndrome is a really cool kind of throwback vibe, and that's where you could tell they're starting to figure out things they like to experiment sound-wise a little bit more. And finally, Clouds is a really good rocker, and they opened their last tour with Clouds actually, which is a perfect opening song. Last but certainly not least, my number 1 One Direction album. Wow. That was my drum roll, was me dropping my notebook. My number 1 One Direction album is Made in the AM. How could it not be? Some people might argue it could not be because Zayn isn't involved, but I think that's exactly why it should be number 1. Oh wow, that sounded like a big dig on Zayn. I don't mean it like that, but I mean it like when Zayn left the group, I think a lot of people were concerned because he brought a lot of the big vocals. He had a lot of chorus, especially earlier on, and he would do the big, wonderful, beautiful notes in the songs. But I think the band really, as a whole, they all truly had to step up even more when they made Made in the AM, because Zayn wasn't a part of it. And they really just did an awesome job. And it bums me out to this day that they did not get to tour that album, because when Made in the AM was released, we all knew that they were taking their hiatus at that point. So gosh, I just remember when I first listened to Made in the AM, the very first song on that album was Hey Angel, is is Hey Angel. And I immediately was like, they have figured out how they can make all of these interests of the different boys, music interests of the different boys work on an album. And it really came together very nicely and cohesively. And gosh, like Hey Angel, I'm a sucker for anything with strings, honestly. So I was hooked immediately. Like I said, all 4 members of the group, you could tell they really stepped up not only the lyrics and the musicality, but their vocals. In particular, I think Made in the AM made Harry really, really shine. That's when Harry kind of took over some of the parts of a song that Zayn would normally do. Harry really started to kind of own it. Drag Me Down was a fantastic first single for them, and Harry just owned the end of that song. But I think it just is a really good album, and they ended on a great note. When I say ended, once again, hopefully, I mean, I hope that one day there could be another One Direction album. But if there isn't, if it's not meant to be, if it's not in our destiny, I think they ended on a beautiful album with Made in the AM. It is very hard for me to pick a few favorites from that album because truly I do enjoy it so much. A few I wrote down. I already mentioned 2, and that is Hey Angel and Drag Me Down. Love them. I also really love Infinity. I think Infinity should have been a single, and it was this close to being a single, and I really feel like it should have been because I think that could have done so well in the pop music charts, just kind of more universally. Additionally, I want to just mention, even though, like I said, I love this whole album, but Never Enough, I think, is unique. Once again, it kind of shows they were getting better at experimenting with what they could all do in the recording booth. If I Could Fly is a beautiful ballad from the group that is unlike any other ballad they have done, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And finally, Wolves. Wolves is just good. There's nothing more I can say other than it's just good. It's just good. So there you have it, my ranking of One Direction's albums. Like I said, I would love to know in the comments if you agree with my ranking or what your favorite songs are from the group. And maybe let me know if you are hoping or what you hope maybe they will do to celebrate their 10-year anniversary, a whole decade where that group has been in existence, and all of the members have done really well on their own. And in different ways, they're all shining. And you know what? That doesn't happen super often with boy band groups. So good for them. Good for us. We get to enjoy all of the music and their individual music as well. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you enjoy watching music-based content, then I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel because that is what this whole channel is about. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're all doing well wherever you are.